Okay. Can you say your names, please?
My name is Jonathan Rodriguez. I'm Joshua Rodriguez.
All right. And can you say a little bit about your history with the Robertson Unit?
Straight with the Robertson Unit, I came over here at around 18 years old. No, 18. From 20 to 25, 26. In this unit is where I found a lot of self-reflection. In this chapel, I took a lot of classes: Voyager, Bridges to Life, Quest for Within Manhood, Anger Management, and I even took the faith-based dorm here. But also, what helped me out the most is the brotherhood that I found here, like the people that I was able to commune with and talk to every day that were helping me as well and mentoring me. So that's what I have as a history in Robertson.
My history is just as a visitor, visiting my older brother in prison, and this journey is starting off from 12 years old all the way to 25 when he came home, and just coming to visit often, having to deal with the amazing guards. Such.
All right. So what's brought you back?
I know that God has blessed me in many ways, and I know that blessings are supposed to be shared. And in that form of inspiration, encouragement, motivation, and I know what it is to go through prison and time, and what it feels like to see yourself grow older and time going by, your family just like, moving on without you. I am just trying to come back and inspire them, but also with credibility. Now credibility is that I've lived out there for a year and a half, and now I work for a nonprofit, and seeing my brother work in NASA and all that, and I am trying to bring all this bundle of blessings to the men in here.
Yes, for me, it's more showing the power of what the men in here can bring to the communities and their loved ones, and the influence that they have towards them, and the blessings that were able to come from this situation with my brother's incarceration, and reflection leading towards my success as a mechanical engineer for aerospace. Just sharing their story and testimony to show them what is possible for their loved ones and kids.
This is your first time back to the Robertson Unit since you
First time. It feels, it's just, I can't really explain the feeling. I would have thought I would have been more like, I wouldn't want to be there anymore, but it is my love for people and community that brings me back. And I hope that I get opportunities like Kairos and other things that I can actually get involved with as well. It is a long drive, so it will take a lot, but I am doing what I can to be able to inspire, and hopefully it won't be my first time. Just my first time.
Yeah, for me, it's the first time coming into a Texas prison, and it's crazy because whenever he came home, I got to introduce him to my whole community, my family, my friends, so we threw a party for him. We had about over 200 people there. But now it's interesting to see the other side, right? Me coming to prison and meeting Jonathan's friends and all these stories and faces that are people that he's spoken about, including you and everybody that he's met along his journey. It's just nice to finally meet the humans behind the names. So it's a blessing to be here, and hopefully it's not the last time as well. Hopefully the warden continues to allow this opportunity to flourish.
So you had talked about a few things that were online about you, TikTok, and you had done a petition and things like that to get him released, and the TikTok was from after you were released. Can you talk about that a little bit?
So along the journey of Jonathan being in here, I was able to share these stories of his hardships in here and our hardship as a family and a brotherhood, and it would go semi-viral on Facebook around the community. So slowly started building traction and community behind his support for his release, and it just started that idea and how it could possibly be used for that purpose. And through his good behavior and everything that he was doing good while he was in here, I was able to push for that slowly as the time went. But it was a journey that started probably like a 6-year sitting down to like when everything started becoming a little more realistic. And then eventually building a website and petition and podcast. But the podcast was just released to share our story. So we just have 4 episodes. Like it wasn't really to develop a platform. It was just, here's our story. This is our learnings behind this experience. And it's knowledge, so it must be shared. So that was my perspective of that. But then eventually They all blew up. We got 1,400 petitions for his freedom. And then my sister was able to make a really, or the commissioner of the parole board called my sister, and she was able to speak with him and share our story and then the whole situation and the petitions. And then within 24 hours, she got approved for parole, and within 45 days, he came home. And then
I told him that the system works in ways where like you gotta know somebody. Like in prison, the way you survive really is networking. The way you get moved or housed or good clothing, all that is networking amongst ourselves. And I told him that. I told him that it's not just prison; it's the world, the way it works, networking. So I told him go meet somebody, so that could speak for me, so they could bring. Because our message is not innocence. Our message is not excusing what I did or justifying anything. Our message is this man reached the point where he's rehabilitated. When is enough enough? And that's what our message was. Like, I'm not innocent. I wasn't innocent. But I have reached a point where it's like, I'm rehabilitated. Why is he still there? So all the community started believing in him. So he reached out to Scott Budnick. He runs ARC, Anti-Recidivism Coalition. And that's when he started telling him, like, hey, you really need to start making a website. Create a website with a petition. So whenever people start asking you where we should go straight to the website. So that's when he created www.freejrock.com. And
elaborate on Scott. So Scott's a movie producer. He made the Hangover movies, Project X, War Dogs, and most recently movies with more social impact called Just Mercy.
With Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx.
And then Aretha Franklin's Respect film. And he's helped pass over 24 different laws. Well, at least the organization that he runs has helped pass 24 different laws that have impacted people around the nation. So he helped pass, I think it's called SB 260, which helped people that were serving life sentences and that got sentenced as juveniles to be eligible for parole because of him and the movement that he was involved in, and everybody in that community. A lot of people from the entire country have been able to start seeing parole and possibly start seeing freedom. So like the way I see things now is, I know Texas is really tough on crime, and that's the way it should be, but it should be focused on rehabilitation. And I think the more that these men start showing change and start pushing for change, the more that the community will be convinced to give them freedom, right? Because right now, like they don't. Most of the guys in here are not, changing for the good. They're just letting time pass. But if you implement programs and movements like that to influence the good, it can benefit our economy. It can benefit the communities and everything all around. So it can be an investment for our country. That's the way I like to see things. But I understand that there's different perspectives to this.
Yeah, but so for answer more of your question is also for TikTok, Instagram, and the website is all Free J Rock. But Free J Rock started out as a way of getting me specifically out, Free Jonathan Rodriguez. But then he started seeing that there's a mission bigger than ourselves. So now Free J Rock is basically me trying to, hopefully one day I could create it as a nonprofit maybe, and just try to see if I could reach out to, just like Scott's doing it for California, I want to do it for Texas. As a matter of fact, I just want to go meet him, because I told him I just got this job, nonprofit collective action for youth, and let me build myself up so when the time I get moved, because he's trying to get me into the film industry. My mission is to be able to portray not only my story, but the story of men that I met or people in Texas prisons that people can see it through film, and they can understand what it really is to do time. What it really is, because there's too many stigmas, there's too many people that look at us as white and they're like, "How you trash, you're nobodies," but you are somebody, and I'm trying to speak up because I didn't have a voice back then, but now I do.
Yeah, and the great influence behind the whole film aspect of it, like you can't go into someone's home and tell them these stories, right? You can't. It's impossible to go one by one, but through films and storytelling and art, you can change perspectives of life. That's what influenced me. Like Interstellar is when it influenced me the most to pursue a path in engineering and aerospace engineering specifically. So that's the power of film.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about your experience going through prison, coming out, coming back in?
So the main thing for me is also, like, if I could speak to men and or even families, is to really preach on the fact that people need to utilize everything that they have while they're incarcerated. No matter, even if it's just like me waking up 4 in the morning, being ready for going to the library every week, reading and education. Not only was I involved with the spiritual stuff when it comes to church and all that, because I am a Christian, but it's like that was my foundation, which is Christianity. But then I also built up upon it, where we learn about psychology, learn about economics, a little bit about politics, what about philosophy. So I started learning about these things that will help me like grow in my mind, be able to grow in my vision, and be able to see opportunity as an educated man. So I won't come out, because I came in at 19, so I won't come out at 30 years old, which I did come out at 30, but I won't come out with a 19-year-old mindset. So every decision that I make now is based on that grown man that was able to utilize everything and gain it and then go with it. Yeah, it comes with complications being out. You know, you do have a way of talking to people in here that you can't talk to people out there. It doesn't work like that. There's things that you gotta adapt. It's just the same way with military, or you get somebody like in Castaway, you throw them in an island, they learn how to adapt, but then they come back and they have attributes and things that they still gotta readjust to society. So it's a readjustment, but thankfully, through my foundation when it comes to being a Christian and being educated, I have been able to sustain even when my house trembles through storms.
Yeah, one main thing I want to make sure that I add on is everything that we build, everything that we push for is to decrease crime. And in no form or way do we support that. And I mean, everything that the prison was made to decrease crime, man. So if you push for systems like this and programs, I mean, you're only bringing more peace to the community. But as for my learnings of seeing Jonathan come home and his struggles of like temper problems and things like that, getting readjusted to the outside world, what I noticed is that when you're in here, you're away from your family, so you only get the good from them. You only get 20 minutes. You don't have to deal with the baggage that people bring, right? Just like whenever you're dealing with a niece or a grandchild, you get to get the fun part and then just pass them on when they start crying. And that's the same way, but now you come home and you face the reality of who your mom is, who your dad is, who your brother is, who your sisters, and all of the above. And then you have to learn to adjust. So I think for the men that are in here currently, instead of avoiding the people that don't know you the most, maybe try finding ways to love them as they are rather than who you want them to be, right? Just the way that you should see people. And I think that would make your journey a little more padded along the way. But it's a journey, and it's something that's really abnormal what y'all experience in here. So no matter what, it's not going to be easy, but you can make it a little easier for yourself if you prepare in advance as soon as possible.
All right.
And we would like to thank Warden Cosby for this opportunity, and we're just thankful to everybody, meeting all the men in here. Yeah, we look forward to seeing all the change, and look forward to seeing y'all come home and kicking it.
Yeah, I'd like to emphasize on thanking the warden. I mean, I see what she's doing before the Facebook group that they all have for Robertson, and there is amazing opportunities that she is providing, and you could tell that she loves what she does, and it's not just a warden and comes in here and she's doing something. God and her is the reason why we're sitting right here. But
Yeah, thank you everybody.
yeah, love y'all, and just thank y'all.
All right.